Hi, my name's Howard and I'm from Bass Sound, and we provide live sound engineering training. And one of the topics that we often get asked about is something called ducking. Now, for those of you that don't know, ducking is when you use an audio source to turn down another audio source. For example, when you're talking into a microphone, that could be used to turn down music being played. This would be useful, well, it's used all the time. If you're a DJ, for example, and we hear it on the radio every day of the week. But in conference applications, this can be useful. If someone's doing a presentation and they're talking over, say, a training video, it can be useful to set up a ducker so that every time they talk, it automatically turns the music down, saving you having to try and guess when they're going to do so. So here's a simple setup showing you what we've got is two sources coming into the desk. I've got an MP3 audio source. That could be your laptop, it could be your phone, it could be a CD player, of course that's not MP3, and we've got a microphone over here. Both of these signals would come into the desk and they would be routed to the left, right and go off to the sound system. Now the audio source is connected to a typical analog compressor using the insert lead, which is a send and return. And then on the compressor, you would set up quite an aggressive compression so that it's actually turning the signal down in volume quite a lot. We would then, and I've drawn here a little button that says SC, stands for sidechain, because what we would then do is from our actual vocal mic, we would connect a lead from that, so that's still routed to left, right. So we would come out of, say, for example, an auxiliary, we could come out of direct out, or even a group if the vocal's routed to a group. And we would connect that into the side chain, or sometimes it's known as key trigger input, on the compressor itself. And so now, when you talk into the mic, this is going to act as a trigger for the compressor then to apply the compression to the audio source. When you don't talk, the audio source will be at its standard volume. When you do, it will be reduced by the amount of compression you do. This could be used on instruments, for example. Some people do it with, say, a kick drum and a bass guitar. That can work quite well where they're fighting, especially if the gig is quite a loud gig and they're competing with each other on certain notes. You could get, for example, the kick drum to duck down the bass slightly, or vice versa, the bass to duck down the kick. But I'm just going to show you this setup on the analog system that I have. Okay, so the setup I've got here, I've got my big analog desk there. I've got a CD player in the rack, and I've got a compressor, a couple of compressors, effects, etc. And I'm connected to this top compressor on channel 1, and you will see the settings at the moment there that we're interested in. We've got the threshold, ratio, attack, release, and gain. I've got threshold turned all the way to the right at the moment. Quite aggressive ratio there of whatever, 7 to 1. Fast attack, medium release, probably sort of 180, 200 milliseconds. I've left the gain alone for now. And just over here, you can see the SC sidechain enable button. So this is a DBX 2-channel compressor. I'm just using one channel for the purposes of this demonstration. I've got my CD player down there. So what we're going to do is run that CD into the desk. It's going to come in on this channel here, channel 1. I've got my mic coming in on channel 4 just to separate the two visually. And I'll go around the back now to show you how they're connected. So around the back of the rack, we've got the CD player here. I'm only using one lead just for demonstration purposes, coming out the left and right. I'm just coming out the left into my mixing desk here, which again, I'm just going in on XLR. This desk doesn't have jack inputs, jack line inputs. It just has XLR, and you pad the signal down to suit. I've got my insert lead here. Big old analog desk this, so it's got a dedicated send and return. Most desks have a stereo jack, so they just have the one jack. And that insert lead, so is patched in on the CD player coming in. It's going to my compressor there, the in and out. And you'll see this jack lead. This is coming from my mic channel of channel 4 into the sidechain input of this compressor. So just to show you the mic is coming here. There's the mic lead in, and there's the jack lead coming out on this particular desk out of the direct output. I say you just need to get an audio feed of your mic channel into that sidechain input, the compressor. So I could, you know, fed the vocal along an auxiliary and come out of an auxiliary output or something like that. But I've got a direct out, so that's what I'm going to use. Right, so what I'm going to do first of all is play some music, bring up the channel with no compression, and then I'm going to turn the threshold and we're going to put a lot of compression on. So let's press play on the CD, bring up the fader. Okay, so there's our music coming out of my sound system. There, you should better hear that. And we'll just wait for it to start a bit more, and then I'm going to turn this threshold and put some heavy compression on it. So I'll start doing it now. And you can already see that compression's working, and you'll notice it a bit more in a minute. So, aggressive compression here. And if I were to bypass that compressor, so I think we can say the compressor's doing a very aggressive amount of compression. Okay, so what I'm then going to do is I'm going to push this sidechain enable button, because I want the compressor to only work when I talk into that mic, and I've connected a lead into the sidechain at the back, as you saw. So I push that now, the volume's going to shoot up, but I'll then turn it down on the fader. Okay, so now there's my mic, and if I just unmute the channel here, we should hear my voice coming through the PA system up there. And if I bring the music in now, and I'll stop talking, and then the music will sound loud, and as I talk into the mic, it will duck down the music. And then what I'll do, just to show you, is I will show you the different release times, so that if we do a slow release, the music will take a while to come back up in volume, and if we do sort of a medium one, it comes up pretty quickly. Okay, so let's bring the music in. Now I'm talking into the mic, and you can see the compressor is ducking it. When I talk, the mic is turning the music down, and it's coming up pretty quickly in volume. I'm now ducking the music down, but I've slowed the release. And again, you can see the voice is ducking the music down really well, and that's a great example of ducking. I say that could be useful for things like conferences, parties for DJs, all sorts.